Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Connect with me on Instagram and TikTok. Also, shop my website. Just go ahead and see what's over there and check out the blog, What's the 411. Yes. So, you see what we're talking about today. And we are going to keep this conversation going because I want to raise awareness on this topic. Because, like I say in a lot of my lives, if you stay ready, you do not have to get ready. You stay prepared, you do not have to get prepared. So we are gonna react to this video. Anton Daniels has found a video of a mother of two boys who says food stamps should be mandatory for mothers, at least $100 a month per child. I want you guys to get in the comments and let me know what you think. Also, make sure you share and like the video. And if you're new, go ahead and subscribe to your girl. I am the Fierce Mompreneur, and I am fierce. I'm a mom and I'm an entrepreneur.
I feel like food stamps should be mandatory for mothers that have one or more child. Stay with me now. If we are qualified to receive a certain amount of money during tax time, as long as we don't go over that income bracket, we should qualify for food stamps every month for these children.
Well, your taxes, that's different, but also you have to think about what you do with your taxes. I always tell people if you are not able to save from your taxes, then you do not need to ball out from your taxes. That means you have some months of your bills saved. You have an emergency fund. You have, different things, especially if you're living check to check. And we all know those who get a nice tax return back, we kind of know what income bracket they fall in. And if they have more than one child, things could be a little tight for them, especially with children growing, constantly eating food. But also, you get back a nice amount. So, what are you doing with that tax return? Because that's your money. So what are you doing? Are you just going out buying Jordans, booking trips and stuff like that? And then you want somebody to pay for your food? I don't know. Y'all comment and let me know how y'all feel, but we're going to continue watching.
I have two boys. Food hate to see them coming. When I say I stay in Walmart need to go ahead and sponsor me. Because I be up in there every other day. I just made groceries a few days ago. I had to go back to the store today. So all I'm saying is, if we are entitled,
I would love to see what she's getting from the grocery store. And I get it. You guys know my shorts. I'm looking for BOGO deals where I can get food to stretch, just like those 5-pound bag of potatoes was buy one, get one free at Winn-Dixie. Those are the type of things we have to look for now. Because let me tell you something, the government does not care. You see, they are cutting things off. So getting on here saying what we should get, we been should have been getting that. If we want to be honest, but that's not gonna happen. So, like I said, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
to claim our children on our income taxes every year so we can receive a little bit of extra money, I need the government to have that same energy. And I need them to give us at least $100 per child.
What y'all want me to say? What you want me to say, bro?
I knew he was fed up when he took them glasses off at the beginning of the video. I knew he was like, wait a minute. What? And I love her accent. Just want to say that. I love her accent. But I knew when he had to take those glasses off and rub his eyes, he was like, because you already know how he feels about black single mom.
You want me to teach a class? Okay, I'll teach a class. Number one, tax returns are not the government giving you money. That is your money being returned back to you if you have overpaid based off of the amount of dependents that you have and the amount of income that you make. Okay? So that is what tax return money is. It is not the government giving you free dollars. Number one. Number two, nobody should have to pay for your children. Stick with me now. And we got to learn how to say sure. We got to learn how to speak effectively because I am confused. These are gotta be Kamala Harris voters. Gotta be Joe Biden.
No, not. Oh my goodness. I hate when he groups people together like that. I don't think she is. I mean, I don't know who she voted for. Hell, she could have voted for him and thought, he was going to help, but I don't know. So I just hate when he thinks like that's what the Democratic Party is, wanting things with their hand out. No, we're hard workers.
Voters have to be in under all circumstances. You're not gonna tell me, and I'm willing to bet the house on it, that these are Democrat voters. That's number two. Number three, if you have children, meaning that it was intentional and you had to take multiple different steps before you had a child, and you opened up your legs to somebody, in which I didn't hear her mention a father in any way, shape, or form.
There he goes. She didn't mention her father. She didn't mention her father. So why even bring it up? She didn't mention him. She basically said mothers at least $100, which, nowadays you got to do families because a mom with 3 children can make, the same as a household family with 5, so families, single dads, mothers, I guess they should all get $100 a month per child. She didn't say any income restrictions, so I don't know what you have to do to qualify.
Then that means that you should be responsible for taking care of them. Because number four, it's not the government's money, it's our money. We are the ones that are paying for your children when you get food stamps. And I am so thankful that the Trump administration decided that they wanted to clamp down on food stamps and not just give anybody and everybody money just because they asked for it, because this is out of control.
Now, I do agree. It is out of control because the way the government gives food stamps, we shouldn't have so many kids showing up to school hungry. We shouldn't be going through certain things with the states and hunger and school lunches and all of that if people are really doing right by their food stamps. And when I say doing right by their food stamps, if you get allowed a certain amount, you're going to do what you can with that amount, or you're going to spend it in a week carelessly and then have to figure out the rest of the 3 weeks. But I mean, I know people that are getting close to $1,400 a month. I have taken people to the grocery store and I see what they put in their carts, and I'm just like, yeah, that makes no sense. All those children, we're not getting any potatoes, we're not getting any rice. Like, what are we getting to stick to these kids' bones? I'm confused. Oodles and noodles, that's why they always hungry. All that MSG. That's like when you eat Chinese food. You're full and then you're hungry. That's just because.
This is 100% out of control. This should not be happening at all. We should not be paying people or paying for other people's children to eat. I mean, why is this such a novel?
I feel like we should be if they're in a situation, because sometimes you have, a loss of an income due to hard times, due to death, or you have a grandmother taking care of children, so, and she's on a fixed income and everything like that. So I say, yes, you do have to feed children, but those who are able bodied and just doing wrong, yeah, we need to wean them out. We need to wean them out.
Concept. When my daughter was born, the goal has always been to make sure that we are self-sufficient, and then to raise her, not under duress, not interdependent on the government, but to raise her to be interdependent on us until she's a adult. And then eventually, if she decides that she wants to leave at home, because I'm not the type of father that would ever kick my daughter out at 18 or be trying to push for her. My daughter could stay.
Now he has to understand people are in different situations. Yes, the goal is that, of course, for most parents, many parents, the goal is to be able to provide for your children. But people do fall on hard times, and that's what the assistance is supposed to be for. It's not supposed to be for a way of life. But things happen in life. Of course, your goal. So if you're sitting there right now and you're going through it, please understand we still think you're a good mom. We know your goal is to provide for your children. You didn't just, get out here and pop out children. You want to provide for them. And you might be going through a little hard time right now. But with everything going on, you see that the government is cutting things left and right. food stamps, Section 8, Medicaid. So what are you going to do to make sure that you and your children are okay? Because it might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen from 6 months until 6 months from now. It might not happen a year. So you just need to be ready.
Stay with me as long as she wants, 30, 40, whatever. I love having her around and she's always going to be taken care of. But again, that is because I've taken ownership and responsibility of what I was going to have. It is almost a super selfish thing for people to have children in the first place. So if you are going to have children, then it should not be other people's responsibility to ensure that your child is fed. What are y'all doing with y'all money?
How much should good car insurance cost you a month?
And see, that's the question. It comes to, what are you guys doing with your money? That's when you have to look at your bank statements. You have to look at what you're spending, what you're tapping with, what subscriptions you have, what subscriptions you can cancel. Like, we're in a recession, so you have to cut back, and the government's not going to give you more. So you have to figure out between your household, what can you cut back? Can you DoorDash on your way home from picking up the kids? What can you do? What little side hustles can you do to be ready for this? Because guess what? It's happening. It is happening. And, people that are brown, it might happen to first. So be ready.
Doing with y'all money? Y'all get new cars, y'all go on vacation, you do what you want to do when you want to do it. Can't nobody tell y'all nothing. Y'all feel entitled to be able to take off. Y'all out in the streets. If you go over into a lot of these predominantly urban areas, go over to Atlanta and see what the highways is looking like on the daytime. Ain't nobody at work. Everybody traveling. The highways is locked up.
Now, Anton, people work different shifts. People work different shifts. Come on now. So, of course, people are constantly traveling in a city that large. I used to think that when I was younger, like, dang, ain't nobody at work. And then I realized, oh, there's like a 10 to 7 shift. There's an 11 to 8 shift. There's a 12 to 9, a 3 to 11, 7 to 7. It's all different types of shifts. So you got to think that's what keeps these stores going in your city. So yeah, of course. That sounds crazy, Anton. Come on.
Usually if you live in a regular major city, the highways start to get a little bit more traffic when it's either vacation season or you have traffic going in or you have traffic going out. Now, obviously, that was pre-pandemic, and then this is post-pandemic, and so you're starting to see a lot more people get back to regular life, and so they're going into work and stuff like that. But in Atlanta, for example, and I'm not saying that she's from Atlanta, it sounds like she's from something, Mississippi. You know what
Oh no. Yeah, he's the man.
I'm saying? Sound like sure. Sound like she's from some rural area, that back road. But in Atlanta in particular, everybody's on the highway at the same time. So here's my question, because again, I always like to use myself as an example because I have to hold myself accountable before I start to have these conversations with everybody else. I was very intentional, right? I was okay, and I'm very glad. I am incredibly thankful. Me and my daughter just came from having a drive together, and it was a great conversation. I was intentional. And so when I decided that, and again, in marriage, that I was going to have a child, I decided that I only wanted one. And the reason that I decided that I only wanted one is because I didn't want to split resources. I didn't want to have, and I didn't know, I was working towards it. I was very dedicated to making sure that I had a significant amount of resources. I didn't know I was going to have the amount of resources that I have today, but I was very intentional about the fact that I didn't want to split resources. I wanted to put every single thing that I could into her and give her every leg up and every opportunity to be successful. And I didn't want to depend on the federal government to make sure that she was fed. And so I made sure that that happened. And now that she's approaching the age of 18, I feel a sense of pride. I feel a sense of accomplishment because.
And every parent wants to feel that, but people fall on hard times. People fall on hard times, Anton. You've been very blessed and fortunate. Yes, everybody is intentional never to have to go on government assistance. Most people do, make it a way of life. But most people do say, I don't never want to get on assistance. And they really do work hard, but they just don't get in. Some people get complacent and used to the environment once they get on assistance, and then they're scared to step back out because now the people around you talking, you just have to have a strong, it'll break you. It's why we need mental health counseling. We need financial literacy. We need so much to truly do an overhaul. Look how they did the people in the early 2000s. They did all those fly-by-night colleges, sending all those girls 2 years to be do medical assistant when they could have told them to do an RN, and then utilize their, go online and complete their BSN and get their master's in nursing. I mean, we don't have people that's really leading our people to do right. I feel like certain programs just keep people in a chokehold, and it's so sad. But all those fly-by-night colleges came, NJIT, technical school, whatever, Virginia College, all of them, and those girls had all those student loans and everything, guys and girls. They were sending people after they got out of jail, all those and those schools shut down. They can't even get their transcripts from it. It was a big thing. And basically what they had, the certificate, whatever, it didn't mean anything. The diploma, they didn't even call it a degree, the diploma or the certificate. And they pushed so many of our young ladies to go through those programs. And if they didn't get a job or able to finish and get somebody really behind them to say, hey, this is not the end. Go ahead and do a crossover. Let me show you what school you can go ahead and now get your RN since you didn't get it in the beginning. But now this is where you're at. So let's get you your RN, and let's go ahead and show you where you're making, 32 to 35. And then let's go ahead and get your BSN, and we can get you up to 37 to 42, even more if you go into the specialty. If you want to do surgical tech, different things, we need to have these conversations about these careers and choices. Even if college is not for you right away, what path can you take? So you don't end up needing the $100 a month. You don't sit on your job for a long time. That things are going up. Your money at the end of the year, your yearly raises, are they matching the inflation? No. But your experience now, if you've been on your job 2 to 3 years, you need to shop your resume and see what people are talking about. Get scared of get unscared of the unknown. Go ahead and step out on faith with God's plan. Pray on it and step out on faith in God's plan so you can be ready, because it's going to happen. The government is not going to give every mom $100. As nice as that might sound per child, they're not going to do it. You see, they're trying to cut people off of government assistance. It's going to be food stamps. It's going to be Section 8. It's going to be Medicaid. And that's a whole nother conversation. Section 8 and Medicaid. That's something, oh my goodness. We have to really be ready, because if people aren't having the commercial insurance, utilizing their deductibles, all that kind of stuff, hospitals aren't getting paid. So now they're not able to pay the doctors. They're not getting paid. So they're not able to fix the equipment. I mean, oh Lord, I can go on and on, but make sure y'all like and subscribe. We are going to keep these conversations going. Please let me know what you think. Should food stamps be mandatory for mothers, at least $100 a month per child? If it could happen. Do you agree, or do you agree more with Anton? You had them children. We're not responsible for feeding them. And like I say, it has to be a happy medium. He's saying we shouldn't be feeding children, but like I said, certain circumstances, we do need to feed the children. And people with their food stamps, they need to do right by their food stamps and feed their damn children as well. They need to do right, not feed the boyfriend, the baby daddy, or, no, you got to do right. Stop feeding your children oodles and noodles. Get some real linguine noodles, fettuccine noodles, spaghetti noodles, and make your own. That's going to stick to them more than that ramen. It's going to stick to them more. Get some noodles, cut up some ground beef, or not cut up, crumble up some ground beef, cut up some sausage. They have buy one, get one free. I mean, y'all got to make it stretch. You got to make it stretch. But y'all make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll keep this conversation going. Thank you.